There's evidence that the solar, the protection of Earth from the magnetosphere is gone, because last July they flew these 5 satellites right through the geomagnetosphere, and between 22 to 24,000 miles out, 4 Earth diameters is a giant magnetic hole. I mean, these are not open for dispute. They're not like, I didn't make it up, you didn't. This fact is they're fully aware of this, and they want to use these things, and the lack of preparation is in a sense, a negative event to not prepare the population and prepare themselves so that we, the rest of the population of Earth, get extinguished with manufactured plagues, with weaponized food, with societies that are increasingly dependent on I like this analogy in the Bible, a house built on sand, which is the microchip or the silicon-based chip, and yet they know darn well that when the solar mass ejections and solar wind occur, these micro-based systems, including your refrigerator, your car, your cell phone, are all going to die if they're not hardened against these kind of events. And no preparation whatsoever, total lies, and again, this fits in exactly with the Mayan prophecies about all the devices going crazy at this time of change.
Well, they're openly announcing that solar cycle 24 will make itself felt as never before. They're saying, doomsday, asteroids, solar flares,
it's on Fox News.
We're going to end NASA.
Yeah, it ends up in Fox News, and hey, at the same time, even the Russian scientists are literally going to a tizzy over this and saying, hey, my gosh, we're going to put our own stuff up there to stop Apophis. We want to do our space-based things, and the Chinese likewise are doing it. The fact is they've been collaborating for decades, and it's all part of the public, I call it pablum, so that people believe one lie, and they want to demonize America and say America's weak, America's lost all its power. America is thousands of years ahead of every other nation in technology. It's just plain insanity to assume America is the sleeping dragon, that it's dying, its economy is destroyed. It's hogwash. They're moving toward the mark of the beast. America is prescient in supercomputer technology with a Crave 4 and Crave 5 gallium arsenide supercomputer array, with advanced transportation at maglev trains at up to 2.2 Mach underground. The technologies of space travel, sub and above light. People don't want to believe this stuff. They don't want to believe we have tokamak nuclear fusion reactors. This is thousands of years ahead of pebble bed reactors and the other things that are out there. They don't want anybody to know anything. It's all released to public consumption, and they even have it planned. Yes, we'll release this technology in 2085, and this one in 2210, and this one in 2250. They got it all planned out. Literally, it's that systematic.
Well, they've got to be somewhat giggling as they're announcing this Jesuit connection to CERN when the Vatican is sending their astronomer physicist Gabriel Gianti in with CERN to find the astral particle.
Gabriel, yeah, Gabriel, and the astral particle is a soul particle, literally the particle by which, quote, the soul is made, because they know that when they explode these nuclear weapons, that they literally disrupt the soul connection with the body. It has a specific type of, if you want to call it, sacrifice when you have a nuclear explosion over a population, which occurred at Nagasaki and Hiroshima. And it's interesting, both of these cities were the only Christian community cities in Japan, and they were both annihilated with nuclear weapons.
Yeah,
interesting.
I had a long talk with I can't think of his name, Eric John Phelps, about that.
Yeah, it's interesting, eh? Isn't that fascinating? Yeah, and I know he thinks it's a ground-based weapon. No, they had these things in the space. They didn't have to be on ley lines. No, but the fact is, though, we see the guys that actually made the Krytron switches for the fast switches for nuclear explosions were both high-level Jesuits. Did you know that?
Only from Eric.
Yeah, well, I know from independent sources. The fact is, if you're an advanced scientist, you will be recruited into an advanced lettered agency, and you will be recruited into one of these special, if you want to call it, orders. You get exposed to knowledge. I've said this repeatedly when people want to argue and say they want my CV. I said, look, first off, much of what I know is classified. I won't tell you. And secondly, if you're exposed to these information, 96% of the truth out there is in these secret orders that go back thousands of years, and it's never in the libraries of any of the so-called Ivy League or other universities. It's hidden away and sequestered, and you're only invited into this realm of advanced information. If you understand what Freeman's doing and what we're trying to do here, and people say, well, why is this important? Why is it important to understand this beyond things like anti-aging technology and the money system? if you don't understand the, if you want to call it the architecture, the symbology, the language of these globalists, if you don't understand it, you're going to be a victim of it. And in fact, last night in the awards, they did something very interesting. Can you talk about that, Freeman, on these?
Yes. I love to bring it right home to people so that they can see it on their television in front of them. And then,
right.
When we're excited to go watch the Grammys, it's not for, who's going to win, or what ritual are they going to perform. And they did not disappoint. So the Grammys opens up, and we have Lady Gaga coming out on stage, and she goes through a phoenix ritual. She comes out and says that she's mind controlling you with her pop music, that she has no soul, and then they grab her and throw her into a burning cauldron, and she resurrects with Elton John covered in ashes. So they went through a phoenix ritual while announcing that they were mind controlling you. They said she is a monster, and she's going to make you a monster too. Following this comes Queen Bee, or Beyonce, who is a split personality. Also claims to be Sasha Fierce. They actually got a little confused in announcing her. Is she Beyonce? Is she Queen T? Queen Bee? I'm not sure. She has been symbolized as this mechanical woman coming through Metropolis that you will see engineered through different rituals that we've followed in other programming. So she comes out as the Queen Bee, and they all start singing, "I'm a bee, I'm a bee." She's followed in by a riot squad in full riot gear, and they all dance on stage with her.
Wow.
This is what we're talking about. This is ritual and predictive programming.
Yeah, exactly.
Right there in your home. And this is who, and of course Hannah Montana was on stage and the Jonas Brothers, so let's not forget old Walt Disney again.
Oh, yeah, and Hannah, of course, is a split personality, and they always show Lady Gaga with the left eye, which is called the eye sinistralis, or the eye of Horus. They always show pictures of her left eye, don't they?
Well, I don't know if you know this or not, but she said on Oprah that James Cameron is the producer of her videos.
And, of course, James Cameron is the producer of none other than Avatar. And what is Avatar? Avatar is a
cult ritual in front of you. It's mind pattern programming.
Right, and Avatar means a god who's incarnated into
God
the flesh.
Exactly.
It's God incarnate to literally take control of your world, which is what they're preparing for with the Mayans and the others, and with the high-level Masons for the return of the feathered serpent god Quetzalcoatl. People call them Nibiru, they call them whatever they want to call them, but they're the fallen ones returning to Earth in 2012 or thereafter. That's what they're actually preparing for. So when the Supreme David Rockefeller, possibly a relations or not, but certainly enough money that he can put out these big announcements on CNN, they're actually planning something. They're planning something very big. Now, we don't know exactly what it is, but we're starting to see symbology emerge that tells us they're programming us in advance for some really big events like the rebuilding of the temple, which is rated Daniel 9:27. We're seeing the formation of a new world economy based on sustainable development. We're reducing the population and killing people, euthanasia, eugenics, and abortion on demand. And I mean big D-E-M-A-N-D. For example, the world standing by with the incompetent behavior in terms of blocking the helping the people of Haiti is a good example of the first step toward the eugenics on a planetary scale, isn't it?
Yes. And meanwhile, Russian states like Dumas are announcing that they're going to continue to ban human cloning, which made me curious about who wasn't banning human cloning. And we start to take all of this connection with, like, say, Prizex announcing that they're giving a vast amount of money for whoever can come up with mind-transferring technology.
Yeah.
And like we were saying, we have the Pope coupling with CERN, and that they have the grid computer, which is capable of exabytes, which is capable of mind transfer technology. We have the many numerous computers you mentioned, of course, capable of this type of mind penetration. So what we have then is all of these large antenna arrays, as the one that just launched in Australia on January 22nd, or, of course, the iSCAT or HARP. We're looking at this type of radio frequency transmission coupled with mind-transferring technology, such as what was given to us by James Cameron, in transferring your soul into a clone. That is where I believe they are trying to that's their escape route.
Well, that's what
we can't launch off this planet.
Well, yeah, all the transhumanists are talking about this.
that people are still, as we're saying, kind of stuck in their mentality that has been crafted for them. Meanwhile, the agenda is moving forward. This is the point where we can say we can detach from this system that we disagree with because it is not serving us. We can see this clearly, openly. I mean, just take the health care. So we realize that they're putting us in the matrix. It's time to step out. If you want to be a hero, now is the time, and it doesn't require fighting. It requires changing your mind pattern to a new system of existence, and that's the only way out. Time, and it doesn't require fighting. It requires changing your mind pattern to a new system of existence, and that's the only way out.
We need to wake up. We can choose our future, but we have to repent of stupidity, of arrogance, of ignorance, and of thinking we circumscribe the totality of reality when we understand virtually nothing.
Be bold, and mighty forces will come to your aid.